So this video is great for anyone who works a desk job or sits for a living, is kind of stuck in an office or one place for multiple hours during the day. Our bodies are not designed to sit long term. Sitting 8 hours a day in the workplace is not what we're meant to do, and it can kind of wreak havoc on the body. It can cause problems with posture, it can cause neck pain, back pain, lots of negative things going on. So this is a quick video showing some exercises that we can do right from our desk. They take 5 minutes. You can do them 2 or 3 times a day just to help keep the body in alignment and functioning properly. So the first thing we're going to do is start with our wrist stretches. Especially if you're working at a keyboard or a computer, your wrists can kind of suffer from that. So we'll go ahead and extend our arms out in front. The first thing we're going to do is just open and close, creating fists and extending the fingers, just kind of working them out a little bit. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to keep our fists closed and we're going to draw circles. So we'll just draw our circles one way, and then we'll draw them the other way. A sillier take on that is to kind of draw the alphabet. You can do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so forth. The next thing we do involves standing at your desk. So you'll stand up at your desk and you'll take the backs of your hands. We're going to stretch the backs of our wrists first. We'll take the backs of our hands onto our desk so our fingertips are pointing towards us. And we'll just go ahead and apply some gentle pressure. You'll definitely feel the stretch. It shouldn't be too uncomfortable or too painful, but you're definitely going to feel it. If it feels okay, you can begin to rock forward and back a bit, just applying a bit more pressure. After you've done that a few times, you can then take the hands and turn them the other way. We're going to stretch out the inside of our wrists. So you're going to place the palms on your desk, fingertips pointing towards each other. Again, gentle pressure, and you're just going to rock side to side. And after that, you can come back to sitting. You can take the fingers, interlace the hands, push the palms away from you, spin them up to the sky, and then back down. And there's your wrist stretches. We're going to work on our shoulders now. So you'll take your hands right to your thighs, and you're going to gently begin to roll your shoulders back. You can start small, and then maybe begin to get a little bit bigger. So rolling the shoulders. After we roll back a few times, we're going to go ahead and reverse it, roll forward. And then releasing that back down. We'll tip the neck to one side. And back up. We'll take the neck to the other side. Back up. We'll tip the head back gently. And forward gently. And then maybe just rolling the neck a few times. One way, nice and slow so we don't get dizzy. And the other way. And then maybe some neck shrugs, just up and down, up and down. There we go. So there's our neck and shoulders. The next thing I want to focus on is our posture. So a lot of us who work at desks, we end up kind of hunching over our desks or kind of straining our eyes to see at a computer. And it causes the spine to curve in a way that's not so great for our posture. So I want to start by just sitting nice and tall. So if you're in a chair where your feet don't touch, I'm short so mine often don't, we'll scoot to the edge of the chair so our feet are pressing down flat into the ground, right about hips width apart. Our knees are going to be stacked right over our ankles. We're going to be keeping our pelvis nice and neutral, so the tailbone's tracking down towards the ground. We're going to focus on our core stability, so our belly button is drawing towards our back. We're engaging our core muscles, which will definitely help support our spine. You'll notice that our collarbones are nice and wide. Our shoulder blades are nice and wide. Imagine one long line from the tailbone up the spine through the crown of the head. So sitting like this is equivalent to standing in yoga in our mountain pose. So we'll go ahead and take the hands to the heart maybe, and this would be a great time to just reconnect with the breath. 3 breaths in and out. In and out. And in and out. And maybe just sitting here for another few moments, maybe taking the hands down to the thighs, gently pressing down, And this would be a great time to just kind of recenter anytime you're feeling stressed or overextended. Just take a moment in a strong seated posture. We'll notice also that our chin is pulling back, keeping our head and neck in line. A lot of times we jet it forward or we'll round in the neck. So gaze is straight ahead, crown of the head reaching tall, chin tucked slightly under. And there's your perfect posture. If you want to sit leaning back against your chair, that's fine too, even if your feet aren't touching, but let's just notice again that length through our spine. We're not shrugging the shoulders, rounding the back, sitting nice and tall. So the next thing we're going to do after our posture practice is our seated cat-cow. What's that going to do is really going to massage our internal organs for proper function. It's great after lunch, helping with digestion. It's also great just to stretch out the abdominal muscles and work out the spine a bit. So we're going to take our hands right to our knees. Our feet might go slightly wider than hips width. Feet might turn out slightly. We're going to exhale. We're going to round the back. Chin is going to tuck towards the chest. Inhale, draw forward. Chest and gaze rise to the ceiling. Exhale, round, stretching the spine. Inhale, forward, stretching the chest and abdominal muscles. 3 more. Back up to that nice neutral spine. Seated half moon is going to wake up the side of the body, create space through the side of the body. Stretch out the back a little bit on all sides. So we're going to take one hand down to the chair, and we're going to make sure that our sits bones are pressing evenly down to the chair, sitting nice and firm. We'll inhale the other arm up and over, gently tipping. Gaze might stay down to the ground, might come forward, or might go all the way up to the ceiling. 3 deep breaths. Coming back up, we'll release the opposite arm. Other arm comes up and over, gentle arch through the spine. You should feel some nice expansion through the rib cage, making space in the body. And it might even feel good to just flow through that a bit, maybe twice each side, up and over, up and over, and once more either side. And back to sitting. We're working out the spine in all directions, we can come to a twist. So we'll scoot back in our chairs a bit. We'll take one hand behind us to the back of our chair. Opposite arm is going to come around maybe to the side of the chair, maybe to the knee, the thigh, whatever feels best. We're going to lengthen through the spine and then twist over the back shoulder. Notice that our collarbones and chest stay nice and wide, they don't round or hunch, so our spine is nice and long. The core is also engaged, belly button drawing back towards the spine. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, deepen the twist. And you can stay here for a few deep breaths. And then coming back to center, we'll reverse that. So the opposite arm comes behind you to the chair. Other arm comes up and over, maybe to the knee, the thigh, or the side of the chair. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, twist. And back to center. Our next exercise here are some leg lifts that can be done right from your desk. So we're going to sit back in our chair. We're going to maybe lean back for support here, but keeping our spine nice and long. We're going to pull to the side of the chairs, and we're going to press down through one foot and extend the opposite leg out. Now, if you can straighten the knee and hold the leg parallel, that's great. If you need to soften the knee and maybe it doesn't come up as high, that's fine as well. Wherever we're at is okay. We're going to try and keep that foot flexed, and then lower and lift. 10, 9, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Other side. Lift and lower. 10, 9, 8. And this whole time, our collarbones and shoulder blades are staying nice and wide. 5, 4, 3, core engaged, 2, and 1. Our next one is great for opening up the hips. We tend to hold a lot of stress and tension in our hips, so it's a great way to kind of work that area out. We're going to come into seated figure 4. So coming to the edge of our chair, we're going to press down to the sole of one foot, take the opposite ankle up to the knee or thigh. We're going to keep the foot flexed, which is going to protect our knee joint. And we're just going to sit nice and tall, and then maybe apply some gentle pressure to the knee as if we're trying to push it down towards the ground. Already you'll feel a nice stretch in the outer hip into the glute. Keeping length through the spine. If it feels good, you can stay right here. If you can add a bit more, you can fold forward at the hip hinge. Notice we're keeping length through the spine rather than rounding. Lengthen and fold. A few deep breaths. And inhale, rising back up. Slowly release that leg back down. Opposite side. Foot comes up, rest on the knee or the thigh. The foot stays flexed, and gently apply pressure to the knee, opening up the hip. The spine stays nice and long, and then maybe adding that fold if it feels okay. Both sides are a bit different. One side tends to be tighter than the other. Just waking up the hip. So the next one is my personal favorite. Anytime you need a break or kind of a little bit of a reset, we can do child's pose right at our desk. And if your boss walks by and sees you, tell them, I'm not napping, I'm centering. So go ahead and take the arms, fold them in. Maybe take the knees slightly wider than hips width, feet might turn out. And we'll gently fold forward, resting the forehead right on the forearms. And ideally, you would take about 10 deep breaths here, or whatever you need to feel fully relaxed and recentered. And once you've done your centering, not napping, go ahead and come back up. So these are some great exercises you can do any time of day, right from your desk. It doesn't take any time at all, but it definitely keeps your body healthy and working properly, and definitely can help with things like back pain, posture issues. So go ahead and use it. So this sequence is designed for anyone who works in an office or maybe sits at a desk job or sits for multiple hours during the day. It's designed to relax and release the body and reset your posture and get your alignment back in order. So to get started, we're going to take a comfortable seated position, whether that's cross-legged or soles of the feet together. We can start with the hands over the knees, or maybe the hands come to heart center. The eyes will close and we'll begin to notice the breath as it fills the body. Big inhale. Slow exhale. Notice length through the spine from the crown of the head all the way down through the tailbone. Notice the sits bones rooting you firmly to the earth. Notice the knees relaxing down towards the ground. The neck is long, shoulders sliding down the back. And again, return your focus to the breath. The inhales fill the body with space. Exhale, feel the muscles relax and release. As as you focus on the breath, go ahead and let go of everything that happened today, positive or negative. Just release it all. Feeling calm and present, relaxed and content. Once you're ready to begin moving with the breath, we'll open the eyes and move the hands up overhead on an inhale. Exhale, float them back down, and we'll do that 3 more times. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. 2. Release. And last one. Release. Moving into a seated half moon. We'll press one arm down, inhale the opposite arm up and over, creating length and space through the side body. A few deep breaths on this side. And coming back up and over to the opposite side. Moving into our shoulder circles, we'll take our fingers to the tops of our shoulders and letting our elbows be our guides, we'll begin to circle back. And circle forward. And relax the arms back down. One more little neck stretch. We can walk one arm out, opposite arm comes up and over to the ear and guides the head towards the shoulder. You can walk the fingertips out a bit more, go ahead. And you should notice a stretch down the side of the neck, down through the arm, maybe even into the hand and fingertips. When you're ready, reach that opposite arm up and release it down and switch sides. Arm comes up and over to the ear, guide the head to the shoulder. Walk the fingertips out. And relax to the stretch. When you're ready, arm comes up, float it back down, and we'll relax the legs long. Point and flex the toes, releasing the ankles, maybe even roll them one way, and then the other. And then sitting nice and tall. Relax the sits bones down into the earth. Make sure the legs are nice and active. Thighs, calves, pressing down into the mat, toes pulling towards the body, feet are flexed. We're sitting nice and tall, so our abdominal muscles are engaged. Our collarbones and shoulders are nice and wide. And we'll inhale the arms overhead. And exhale, folding down. Rising all the way back up. We'll draw one knee in towards the chest, give it a squeeze for a moment, and then cross it over the opposite leg. Coming into a twist, arm comes behind you, inhale, lengthen, and exhale, twist. Coming back to center. If it feels okay, you can stay right here, or we can take that top knee and fold it down onto the bottom knee. The heel will come towards the outer hip into a half cow's face. Sitting nice and tall, if we can add to it, you can fold forward. And rising back up. Go ahead and reverse that. Shake it out. Opposite side. Pull the knee in, give it a squeeze. Maybe cross it over and add that twist. Lengthen and release. And back to center. If it feels okay, folding that top knee down onto the bottom knee, half cow's face. and maybe adding that fold. And rise back up. Relax the legs, shake them out. Swinging the legs behind us, we'll come onto our hands and knees. Hands below the shoulders, knees below the hips, and we're going to move through some cat-cow. As we exhale, we'll round the back. As we inhale, we'll drop the belly, gaze up towards the ceiling. 3, 2, and 1. Neutral spine. Moving into our down dog, we'll tuck our toes, lift our hips, pressing down through the palms, chin tucks towards the chest, heels reaching down towards the earth. If you can, go ahead and pedal out the feet a bit. You'll get a nice stretch behind the legs. And back to stillness. Few deep breaths. This is resetting the spine, releasing any tension that's built up through the day. And then walking the feet towards the hands, we'll go ahead and come into a forward fold. Maybe nodding the head, shaking the head. Maybe grabbing hold of the opposite forearm, swaying side to side. And releasing the arms back down. Soften the knees, inhale all the way up. And hands can come to the heart for mountain pose. Reset your posture here for a moment. So tuck the tailbone slightly. Keep the pelvis neutral, belly button drawing towards the spine, keeping the core nice and strong. Crown of the head's reaching towards the ceiling. Shoulders sliding down the back. And just return the focus to the breath. When you're ready, we'll begin to move into our tree pose, restoring focus and balance. Pressing down through one foot, take the opposite heel to the ankle. And this right here is a gentle version. If that feels okay for you and you want to stay here, that's great. You want to go ahead and maybe move it up to the shin, maybe even the thigh, whatever works best for you. And for a nice grounding contemplative version, you can relax the arms down to the sides. A few deep breaths. Hands can come back to the heart, release the foot, reset, and then the opposite side. Heel presses to the ankle, find your balance. Maybe it comes up to the shin. Maybe even the thigh. Relax the arms to the sides, a few deep breaths. And hands to the heart. And release. Moving into our chair pose, we'll sink the hips, sweep the arms up shoulder height. If it's too much on the shoulders, you can also keep the arms straight out in front. And we're going to focus here for a few deep breaths, keeping the core engaged, thighs and glutes nice and tight. Thighs are squeezing towards each other, shoulders sliding down the back. Pelvis is tucked, supporting the lower spine. 3 deep breaths. Hands to the heart, rise back up. Taking the legs nice and wide now, toes pointing slightly out. We'll take the hands to the hips and exhale, folding forward. And then relaxing the arms down to the earth in a wide leg forward fold. Maybe even bending in one knee, straightening, and then the other, and straightening. And hold for a few deep breaths. When you're ready, we'll take the knees back down to our table. We'll do one more series of cat-cow. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Neutral spine. Take the knees wide, big toes touch, sink the hips back towards the heels. And we'll end in our child's pose, folding the forearms in, forehead resting on the forearms. And begin to deepen the breath. On the inhales, make space through the front of the body, crown of the head pulling you towards the front of the room. On the exhales, notice the hips sinking back towards the heels. Try and stay here for about 10 deep breaths, just letting yourself fully relax and release. When you're ready, we can gently press back up and come back to our seated position. And to end, you can either take the hands over the knees again or maybe to the heart. And again, we'll return our focus to the breath. And notice any sensations in the mind or body. Hopefully you feel a little bit more relaxed, a little calmer, a little lighter, a little more clear-headed. And as we end, we fold forward and we end with Namaste, the light in the others and sees the light in all of you.